Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. Thank you so much for taking our time to be here to watch this video. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell in order not to miss any content we put out here. And if you find value with what we share with you here, kindly like and share to your fellow traders or to anyone who would find this information useful. So without wasting much time, let's have a quick recap of what happened the last week. So last week we shared this US30 setup, which was a potential 4-hour butterfly pattern, and we're expecting price to pull back into this area of interest to give us a buying opportunity. Price came here, gave us a rejection candle, and gave us this strong, this 4-hour bullish engulfing candle. And we took our entry from here, and then we are riding the trade to the upside. So we are expecting this trade to hit TP. And that is the potential reversal pattern for the butterfly pattern on the 4-hour time frame. We also had the S&P 500. S&P 500 didn't get it into our area of interest. It was some few pips away from the area of interest, and it just blasted off like that. So we missed out on the S&P 500, and it was extremely bullish as anticipated or predicted last week. We also had EURUSD. EURUSD, we were expecting price to react from this area of interest and break out of this channel to the upside. But then when the breakout happened, we didn't get a retest immediately after the breakout. So for the coming week, we'll be looking out for a possible pullback to give us an entry opportunity to go long to complete a potential harmonic pattern, which I will disclose in the coming setups. Then we also had gold. Gold moved so fast last week, and yeah, we missed out on it actually. So we were expecting price to give us a higher low within this region, and then we can get our buying opportunities to the upside. But gold actually retested the 4-hour structure point over here, and then just took off from there to the 4-hour BATS PRZ or potential reversal zone. So what we have now on gold, I think gold is actually evolving into another pattern if it's going to continue to be bullish. I'll also disclose that in the coming setups. So before we get into the setups for the coming week, let's look at the economic calendar for the coming week. So the coming week will be very packed with a lot of fundamentals, and then we have to take caution as traders when we are taking our trades. So on Monday we don't have any high impact news. On Tuesday we have the job openings news for the USD. On Wednesday we have AUD/CPI, and then later in the day we have advanced GDP for the USD. We also have the Bank of Canada monetary policy reports, Bank of Canada rate statements for the Canadian dollar, and then later in the evening we have FOMC for the US dollar, which we really have to be very cautious of because it's very volatile. Market just goes crazy whenever FOMC is being released. So let's take note of it on Wednesday. So Thursday we have the Bank of Japan policy rate or monetary policy statement for the Japanese yen on Thursday, and then for the Canadian dollar we have the GDP, and we also have the core PCE price index and employment cost index for the US dollar on Thursday. Then on Friday, another big fundamental, which is NFP. Friday happens to be the first day of, let's say the first Friday of August. So we have NFP on Friday. So we need to take caution on Friday as well. So let's delve into the charts for this week. So let's have a quick overview of DXY. So as I explained in previous episodes, DXY is currently around a strong support area. So on the long term, we'll be expecting DXY to go bullish, right? And currently, we have some bearish momentum. We had some bearish momentum from last week, and then I would like to point out some possibilities for the DXY in the coming week. So if you can see, we have this potential left shoulder, or let's say we have this left shoulder, we have this head, and a potential right shoulder. So if should price break above, should DXY buy and break above this zone, means and break above this particular zone with a weekly candle, then sorry, then DXY has shifted bullish on the weekly time frame. So if you're able to break this structural level, weekly structural level, then DXY becomes bullish. Then we have to be looking for bullish opportunities. And if that happens, we'll be looking for a possible pullback to the neckline or potential neckline of the inverse head and shoulder and continue the long to the upside. Or we can also have a very deep pullback. You can also have a very deep pullback to form, let's say, like a double bottom, have another break upwards, then price takes off to the upside. So that's what we have for the general view or the long-term view for DXY. So looking at DXY on a daily perspective, we had this break of this channel, and price is currently forming a possible B2C leg of a possible harmonic pattern, which is not yet confirmed. So we have price retrace to the 61.8 retracements or 61.8 fib level. So we'll be expecting price to pull back to this zone, give us maybe a reversal pattern, a double top, head and shoulder, a bearish engulfing, any signs that will show us or prove to us that DXY wants to go bearish, then we sell or we short to the downside to form or to complete a potential crab pattern on DXY. So this sell will be invalidated if price buys above this zone, like I explained earlier, and breaks this structural point, it's a weekly structural point, and then closes above that, then we have DXY shifting bullish. So let's pay attention to that. And because of this formation, some of the USD pairs are giving like a neutral view or a neutral direction. So I'll explain that in the setups that we have ahead. Then we had the Japanese yen basket. Last week we anticipated that price should break above this zone, give us a retest and continue, or price would break below this, get a retest, and then keep dropping to this zone. So we were fortunate to get the break to the upside. So the only way we'll be considering a bullish Japanese yen index for next week is if we are able to shift this 4-hour structure, be able to shift bullish on this 4-hour, get a pullback and continue to the upside, then we'll be extremely bullish, and then we are going to target the previous targets that we had from the previous episodes to the upside. So that is the bullish side for the Japanese yen. But then if we continue selling from this point and we break this, we're able to break this low and we get a retest, we can just sell into this zone or area of interest we have below. That is it for the Japanese yen index. So we have EURUSD, like I explained earlier. So EURUSD has now given us a B leg of a potential harmonic pattern, which is a potential butterfly pattern. So what we're going to be looking at is, this is our X, our A, our B, and a potential C leg, then to our D leg to complete the pattern. So what we'll be looking out for is a pullback. What we'll be looking out for is a possible pullback to this region. Price gives us a reversal pattern. Then we continue to the upside. Sorry for the illustration that I just made. So we're looking forward to see EURUSD buy to the upside. So price might not necessarily come into this zone. Price might just give some short pullback, give us a reversal pattern. Then what's happening to my mouse? So price can just pull back, give us a short pullback, give a reversal pattern, and just continue. It might not necessarily come back into that zone below. So let's just look out for it. So we are bullish on EURUSD, and then the only way this bullishness will be invalidated is if price is able to drop, break below this zone, retest, break below this daily structural point, then we have EURUSD shifting bearish on a weekly perspective. Then we get a retest and continue the sell to the downside. So that's the only way we would consider EURUSD as bearish. But until then, we are bullish on EURUSD. We have a counter view for GBPUSD. So GBPUSD, as you can see, is developing something like a head and shoulder pattern. If you can see clearly, GBPUSD is giving us something like a head and shoulder pattern where you might expect price to break below this on the daily with a daily candle, get a retest, and continue selling, because GBP itself is very weak. So when we get to EURGBP, you will understand. So GBP is very weak against the euro, and it might sell or form this let me illustrate it, this head and shoulder pattern, and then drop to the downside. So this will be possible if, as I illustrated with DXY, if DXY is going to go bullish, then this head and shoulder pattern is possible. Alternatively, price can also drop below, give us a bullish momentum back into this zone, get a pullback, and continue to the upside. Because this is also a potential harmonic pattern if we drop down to a lower time frame. So you can see we have our X, we have our A, we have our B. So we're waiting for a potential C leg around these zones. Then we get our potential D leg to the upside. So let's pay attention to it. It might just break this zone and fake us out, and then break back above and continue to the upside and follow the trend just as EURUSD is expected to do. So let's allow price to do its, let's allow the market to do its own thing, then we react to what the market delivers or gives to us. Then we have NZDUSD. NZDUSD has a similar setup as EURUSD. So we're also anticipating a potential rally pattern on the 4-hour time frame for the NZDUSD. So we are waiting for a potential C leg, get a reversal pattern, and buy to the upside to complete this rally pattern. So that is what we have for NZDUSD. On to the next. We have EURGBP. EURGBP, as you can see, is extremely bullish, creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So until next week, we'll be expecting, or we will be anticipating that price will give us a pullback to this zone and continue the buy to the upside, or price can also potentially drop to this second zone below and give us a reversal pattern. So anything that would show signs that price wants to continue the drive to the upside or continue the bullishness, then we can take our buys from there. So we are extremely bullish on EURGBP. So if you look at some of the pairs, you realize that most of the euro pairs, euro seems very strong against most of the pairs, and then on GBP's pairs, you realize that GBP is weaker. So let's take caution. It looks like most of the correlations might not work in the coming week. So let's pay close attention to what price or what the market delivers or gives to us in the coming week. So we have EURCAD. EURCAD, as you can see, is very bullish now. So we had this pattern here, which initially gave us an alt-bat formation. But now looking at the momentum that it's giving us, it looks like price wants to complete a crab pattern instead. So we have a potential crab pattern developing here on EURCAD. And actually it's one of my top picks for the coming week. So what we'll be looking at out for as our entry opportunities to complete this crab pattern is we'll be expecting a possible pullback into this first zone or first area of interest, get reversal patterns or bullish confirmations, and then we take our buys from there to complete the crab pattern, or wait for price to drop a bit further to the second zone below, and then we'll look for buying opportunities to take to the upside to complete this potential for our crab pattern on EURCAD. We have CADCHF. CADCHF is also forming a crab pattern on the 4-hour time frame. So also have to take advantage of that pattern and then look for sales to complete it. So this is our X, this is our A, we have our B, we have our C leg, and then our D leg to complete the crab pattern is here. So what we'll be looking out for in the coming week is we'll be expecting price on CADCHF, we'll be expecting a daily candle closure. We expect price to close on a bearish candle closure below this zone or below this area of interest, give us a pullback into this zone, and then take the sell to the downside. Or when we get the daily candle break below the zone, price might also pull back into the second zone above and then continue selling to complete this crab pattern. So we are very bearish on CADCHF for the coming week. And then for GBPJPY, the JPY pairs are giving off like conflicting directions. Some of the pairs are giving a bullish direction, some too are giving a bearish direction. So for example, GBPJPY and CADJPY are showing signs of bearishness, and then EURJPY, CHFJPY, AEDJPY, they are all looking bullish. USDJPY is also looking bullish, but if you look closely at GBPJPY is giving us, it's very complex. So if you look at it on the line chart, you realize that you're having something like a head and shoulder formation somewhere here. So what we will be doing is waiting for price to give us a daily break below this zone. We get a retest to this zone and then sell to this zone or sell to this area of interest. And this will be possible if the JPY index resumes its bullishness or decides to go bullish. But if the JPY index sells, this potential sell or head and shoulder will fail. Then price will just buy to the upside and continue going up, or give us bullishness just as the other pairs are indicating. So let's take caution. Okay, so we have gold. So currently gold has evolved into another potential harmonic pattern. So let's look at the possibilities we have with gold for the coming week. So gold has given us a retracement from 88.6 fib level, which is likely to give us a potential deep crab pattern. So what we're going to do is we now have our X, we have our A, and this will now be our B. Now you're waiting for a potential C leg, then we get our D leg to complete the deep crab pattern, which is around 3,577 for gold. So gold is still bullish until we get price break below this lows. If price is able to break below this lows, then give us a retest this way and to the downside, then gold now has shifted bearish on a weekly perspective. But on the daily perspective, we can look out for possible reversal patterns within this zone and get our buys to the upside, or price can equally drop to the zone below and give us reversal patterns to the upside. So if price does not break below this low, as I said, then we'll be looking out for a potential deep crab pattern for gold. So gold is going to continue its bullishness from any of these two zones, depending on how price action or how the market moves. And then if you look at it from the weekly perspective, gold is shaping up for, let me hide these ones, sorry. Gold is shaping up for a potential head and shoulder. So you can see we have our left shoulder, the head, and the potential right shoulder. That's why I said earlier that if price is able to break below the lows that are indicated, then price has now shifted bearish on a weekly perspective. Then now we'll be considering shorts on gold, where we'll be expecting a retest into this zone or into this zone, any of these two zones, and we take the sell to the downside for gold. So the next, we have US oil. So US oil, we're expecting this trade to play out last week, but then it kept playing around the area of interest, and it finally broke the zone on Friday. So what we'll be looking out for on UK oil for the coming week, we'll be expecting or anticipating price to give us a pullback into the zone and give us a potential reversal pattern or any reversal sign to indicate that price wants to go bearish, and we sell from there to complete this Gandhi pattern. And then also price also has the potential to drop way further to complete a potential crab pattern as well. But it will all be dependent on the momentum price is going to come with. If price starts slowing down around this potential reversal zone, then we might not see this crab pattern formation. But then if the momentum is very strong when it gets to this zone, then we'll be holding the trade to complete this crab pattern on the 4-hour time frame for UK oil. Then we have Eurosstocks 50. It's not a very common index or indices that's traded by people, but it's currently giving us a very nice formation. So let's look at it. So Eurostocks is giving us should I say, an inverted and shoulder, or let's say a Gatling pattern. So what you can see now is price has already reacted from the area of interest and it's already heading upside. So what we'll be looking out for is we are fortunate to get a double bottom here and continue the trade to the upside to complete the Gatling pattern, or we can hold to the upside since most of these indexes are just on the bullish run, or price can just take off from where it is right now and then just continue to the upside. So let's look out for this trade. It looks very good. It looks very good. So we can take advantage of this trade if it plays out. It plays out as expected. So this is EUROSTOXX. You can find it on some brokers as EUSTX for xylophone and 550 EUROSTOXX. Yes. On some brokers you can find it as EU50, EU50. It's somehow positively correlated with German 30. So we can have a look at this trade or this setup for the coming week. It looks good. It looks good for the buy. So if we're able to get the opportunity, or let's say a small higher low, and we get a confirmation, we can just take the longs to the upside and then keep holding to maybe this